Happy Thursday, everybody. Episode 3, and I'm coming live to you from a new location. This is actually the backyard of my house. And if I do a little spin, fancy camera work, you can see the Speed River right behind me. All right. Hopefully you can hear me okay out here. So first up for today is a big thank you. You may have seen that I released a new song last Friday called Inside Out, and I hope you've had a chance to listen to it. If you haven't, link will be down below. All right, let's get to the topic for the week. It's a question that I have been asked quite a lot, actually, through this last year or so of getting back to music, and that is, how am I balancing everything? So I believe I've talked about this in a blog post in the past, and for me it's not really a matter of balancing, just because it's not equally balanced to start with. So for me, my family, my kids, my husband, that is always going to weigh heavier than anything I'm doing music-wise. I sort of picture it as being more of a juggling act. So is it easy? No, it's not. And I feel like we sort of learned through some trial and error over this past year and a bit of how we deal with mom being away sometimes, and just the fact that I have more stuff that I'm doing. And it's not an easy thing to be taking on a music career when I have 3 fairly small children and we are a special needs family. But I feel like they sort of complement each other in a way, because what I'm experiencing in my home life is informing my music, and my music is really a great stress relief and a way to help me cope with the things that I'm dealing with in my home life. So they both, it's hard to make them both work at the same time sometimes, but really they are sort of feeding off of each other in a really positive way, actually. So I think something that I have learned over this last year or so in terms of how am I managing really almost 2 kind of very opposite, well, not opposite, but definitely separate lives, that I'm trying to be as present as possible. And that's such a cliche thing to say, be in the moment, but that really is sort of the trick. So, and that can be hard to do, of course. But when I'm at home and I'm doing the school runs and putting the kids to bed and that sort of thing, in those moments, I try to totally put all of my focus just on that as much as possible. And that can be hard. You get a text here, you get an email there, but trying to find times to kind of put that away and just really focus on the kids, that's been helpful. And then on the flip side of that, when I'm away in Nashville and I'm working on the music stuff, I try to just think about that and not worry too much. And I have to say, props goes to my husband Andrew for a lot of how well that has gone, mostly just because he is great running the show when I'm not here, but I think he also tends to not give me all the gory details. When I call and say, how's everybody doing, he'll say, oh, we're doing great, and I'm sure that's not always the case, but I think he knows if he were to tell me things aren't going well or there's some kind of problem, then it would be harder for me to be there. And there are the odd times, I'm answering a school email or doing whatever. So they do overlap, and it can be tricky, honestly, to feel like they're so separate. And I'm hoping as this goes on that I can really get to a point where the worlds are sort of starting to mesh together a little bit more. So that's something, that's a goal to work towards. But for the moment, I don't know, it's just kind of a one day at a time sort of a thing. So anyway, if you are a working mom out there and you have any tips for me of how to balance your work and home life, let me know down below, because I need all the help I can get. Honestly, this is still so new to me, and learning curves, you know, one day at a time. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up this week's episode, mostly because I'm getting eaten alive by bugs out here at the moment. Please leave me a comment if you have an idea for a future video or question you'd like me to answer, and hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified of new videos, and I will see you next week.